And now, Mike's awesome. For fan-wise, it is 100% awesome. Yes, I get it, and I love it for like fans. But the NSL has ruined this international game. It's stupid. It's asinine. It's asinine. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour.
What?
Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? It is Wednesday, Hump Day edition of Man Hour NFL Talk, guys. This is live, raw, uncut NFL Talk, and we are here every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Now, I forgot to turn on the mic previously, so half of my opening thoughts were kind of cut out. But as you guys know, we do upload clips each and every day here, every 3 hours here at Facebook.com, of course, YouTube.com, and Spotify. And bada bing, bada boom, that full clip will be up there. So you guys will get my thoughts about the international game coming up over there. Probably air tomorrow about 3 p.m. on the East Coast time, PM side. But guys, we do got a good show for you lined up today. Actually, no. We got a great show for you lined up today. We're going to talk some NFL news. We're going to talk about Josh Jacobs wanting a number one receiver in Green Bay. Are we seeing Davante Adams come back? Jameis Winston looking for a job? What's up with that? New England Patriots, can they bounce back in 2025? And then we got the cold, hard facts. Tennessee Titans will be not drafting a quarterback in the first round. 18 games, NFL season is not coming. And there will be an offensive line Super Bowl MVP. What? And then the Chiefs are built for the long haul. We're going to talk about that as well. And then we end the show always with a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. We're going to talk about Jamar Chase being the best receiver in the NFL. We're going to talk about Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson going head-to-head. What? And then players' contracts and Senior Bowl. Who flew up that Senior Bowl ranking? So, guys, all that much more into this Man Hour NFL radio talk today. So, guys, if you are here, let us know. This is a live interactive show. Like the stream. And share this with a couple friends as well, because sharing is caring at the end of the day. And most importantly, guys, if you'd like to become a Pigskin Pundit, get yourself a little bit of free merch, get a little free entry into our giveaways, a little bit of free this, a little bit of free that, become a Pigskin Pundit like my man John. Be like my man John here, and he says it's freezing rain up here in the Mitten. John, funny that you say that, because we just left from Cincinnati a couple hours ago. It was snowing there, and then it's thunderstorming here. So definitely be safe out there in that freezing rain, because you know how black ice can definitely change the whole landscape of the thing. So be safe out there, John, and everybody else that is out there today. But guys, let's get jumped right into it, today's show. Let's go ahead and jump into it, and we are going to talk about a potential comeback. A potential comeback that could sweep the NFL landscape. So, guys, Josh Jacobs is the newly acquired, the Green Bay Packers running back from last season, and he come out and said that Josh Jacobs would like to see the Green Bay Packers add a proven number one receiver to their roster, and instantly dropped the name Davante Adams. That, as you guys know, Davante Adams is a free agent right now. As you guys know, Davante Adams is not really stirring up too much interest with his time in Raiders and, of course, the New York Jets last season. But, guys, should the Green Bay Packers and Davante Adams get remarried, renew their vows? Should Davante Adams come back to Green Bay? Ooh. I got to sit here and I got to digest what is occurring right now. I got to sit here and digest of, like, Could this potentially happen? Could this be some type of crazy scheme that somebody's cooking up? But as you guys know, Davante Adams spent 8 years in the Green Bay Packers uniform before leaving in 2022 to the Las Vegas Raiders. He said the Packers weren't paying him enough money. He wanted to get some payday, so he went to Vegas. He also wanted to play with his longtime college roommate, Derek Carr. As you guys know, Derek Carr got shipped off that particular season, but Davante Adams did get a little Bills yell. When you look at Davante Adams, guys, from 2018 to 2024, he had 1,000 yards every season, except for 2019 when he only played 12 games. He still had 997. Guys, Davante Adams has been the man, the myth, the legend since 2017, 2018 timeframe. He has been a dog. The last 2 seasons, he had 8 touchdowns, meaning 24 and 23. But before that, he had double-digit touchdowns from 2016 to 2022, minus the 2019 season where he did only play 12 games. Oh, by the way, he still had 8 touchdowns. Guys, the Packers right now are the youngest roster in the NFL. Not only are they youngest roster in the NFL, they have the youngest wide receiver room in the NFL as well. This receiver room has a lot of talent, has a lot of skill, but they just lack something. I don't know what it is, right? You can never say what it actually is, meaning they have it or they don't have it, but something is lacking it over there in that Green Bay Packers wide receiver room. Reed, Dobbs, and Watson's, they all seem like a very, very good core, and they would stick together. I feel like we see a Jamar Chase, Boyd, and Higgins kind of core written all over that, right? One is going to have a mini success, but those other 2 guys are just as valuable. But they just lack something. Oh, I know what they're lacking. They're lacking the ability to catch the ball on a regular basis. They are lacking the ability to catch the easy balls when it hits them in the chest. They can make those spectacular one-handed catches over the middle, but then Jordan Love's put it on a dime on their chest in the middle and they drop it. That is what this wide receiver core for the Green Bay Packers is lacking. Yes, I know Davante Adams had 10 drops last season, but history shows that normally in a normal season, Davante Adams catches the ball. He doesn't drop it. Reminds me a lot of Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, granted, not Larry Fitzgerald, but Davante Adams has those hands. Like I said, Davante Adams left Green Bay because he felt like he wasn't getting paid enough and wanted to play with his college friend, Derek Carr. So, guys, when you look at all the stats, when you look at all the facts, and you look at the roster building of the Green Bay Packers right now, should the Green Bay Packers and Davante Adams get remarried? Should they renew their vows? Should they spit the last, 5 years just out the window and say, yeah, that never happened. Come on back, right? When I first heard this, I was like, this is absolutely no way. Why would Davante Adams want to come back to Green Bay? Why would Davante Adams want to come back to a franchise that he felt that they were undervaluing him, right? Not willing to pay him, not willing to do this or this or this. But now all of a sudden he may want to come back. Now all of a sudden he's thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I could come back and be the difference changer. Because when you look at the roster as the Green Bay Packers, guys, they have a Super Bowl caliber roster. I'm not saying they have a Super Bowl roster. They have a Super Bowl caliber roster. They are a player or two away to really being a true threat in the NFC. A potential edge rusher, maybe add a little bit of secondary, and just a veteran receiver that can help these young guys grow. A D-Hop, maybe, Davante Adams, maybe, just maybe, or Odell Beckham Jr. It's like some type of like vet, right? Guys, if Davante Adams go back to the Green Bay Packers, I feel like they will set themselves back a couple seasons. I feel that Davante Adams and the Green Bay Packers getting remarried, falling in love, again, will actually set them back and hurt the Green Bay Packers more than actually helping them. Because they are the youngest team in the NFL. They are the youngest wide receiver core in the NFL. But they're coming along. They're coming along. They're coming along. When you put in a player like Davante Adams that thinks he's a number one receiver, and arguably could be a number one receiver on most teams, right? But once you do that, you disrupt the growth of Watson. You disrupt the growth of Dobbs. You disrupt the growth of Reed, right? Guys, the Green Bay Packers should not entertain this idea. Fans can get excited about it. Josh Jacobs can get excited about it. But at the end of the day, this does not need to happen. Green Bay Packers need to understand that it is not going to happen and it shouldn't happen. If they're thinking it should happen, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby, because just stop it. So what do you guys think? Should the Green Bay Packers bring in Davante Adams to get that true number one receiver back on the team, per Josh Jacobs? Travion says, play trenches by what? I don't know what that means. I'm not even going to try to say it. It's some game, whatever, stupid. John says Jamar Chase to Green Bay. John, Jamar Chase is going to get a $120 million contract, whether it's 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. He is going to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL. Right now, the highest paid receiver in the NFL is Justin Jefferson at 4 years, $110 million. Second place is CeeDee Lamb at 4 years, $100 million. Jamar Chase says he wants market value. Are the Green Bay Packers willing to pay Jamar Chase those top dollar bills? Are the Green Bay Packers willing to basically go all in on Jamar Chase and say, look, Jordan Love, here's your guy, time to step up or get off the pot, right? Should have got the pot. I mean, like, it would kind of make sense, right? They do need a number one receiver per se. But honestly, I have faith in the receiving core that they have. Now, if I'm the Green Bay Packers and I have the opportunity to sign Jamar Chase, I am not going to say no. I'm not going to turn my nose over this. I like the guys we got. Like, we're not going to do that game, right? But I don't think the Green Bay Packers are going to actively pursue Jamar Chase. They may call his agent like, hey, what is it going to take? They'll put some numbers in and be like, yeah, whatever, right? It is what it is. Josh Olson says the Bills should sign Davante Adams and the Packers can sign Odell Beckham Jr. Both receivers are the exact same age. Josh, the difference between Davante Adams and OBJ is OBJ has had 3 ACL surgeries. Davante Adams has not. OBJ was not on a roster last season. Davante Adams was. OBJ has been kind of deemed this cancer, this career. I'm going to go play a year here, going to play here, there, because nobody wants me. Davante Adams is, yeah, he is kind of starting to be a diva a little bit just because he wanted out of Vegas, right? He wanted an opportunity to either A, play with Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr or win a championship, and he wasn't doing that in Vegas, so I understood why he wanted out. But these guys are two totally different guys. OBJ is not a number one guy, a number two guy. Hell, he's not even a number 4 guy. Davante Adams could be a number 2, potentially a number 3, and some teams even a number 1. The Raiders, for example, would be a number 1 guy. So, no. I don't think OBJ is going to be on a team next season. Josh says that was 8 years and a few concussions. Listen, I'd rather have a concussion than a torn ACL. I'm just saying. John says, but I don't think Joe Burrow wants to lose him. Listen, nobody wants to lose Jamar Chase. Nobody wants to lose the best receiver in the NFL. We were talking about Jamar Chase being an MVP last season, John, because of Jamar Chase. We were talking about if the Cincinnati Bengals just had a winning season, just wouldn't make the playoffs, he would have been the MVP. He wouldn't have done that without Jamar Chase. 1,700 yards last season, most touchdowns, most catches, and most yards in the NFL. You don't want to lose that, right? You don't want to lose that. And John also says Davante is now a 3rd receiver on a team these days. On some teams, yes. On the Dallas Cowboys, he would be a number 2. On the Kansas City Chiefs, he would be a number 3, right? But on the Jets, he was the number 1 guy. Let's say, let's just throw some teams. Let's just throw some teams out there that he would be the number 1 guy on, right? The Houston Texans, he would probably be the number 1 receiver. Obviously, the Raiders, I think he would be the number 1 receiver. Detroit Lions, he would probably be the number 2 receiver behind St. Brown. I mean, he's definitely still has a lot of left in the tank. I think, right? We saw that last year, right? He still has a little bit, or not a little bit. He still has a lot left in the tank. So he also says that's the question: Do they think they could bring a Lombardi back to Titletown? Listen, I think the Green Bay Packers, if they would have got past the Philadelphia Eagles, we would probably be talking about them in the Super Bowl right now. But they're just not seasoned enough, right? Think about this. We are cooking a steak. You salt and pepper the crap out of it, right? You sear it on one side, you sear it on the other side, you sear it on the third side, and now you're going back to the fourth side on the final sear. This is where the Packers are at. They are cooked on one side and they're getting ready to start cooking on the other side. They are this close to really busting through, right? The addition of Josh Jacobs last year was huge. I love me some Josh Jacobs. Like, I am honestly, as a Chiefs fan, John, I am glad Josh Jacobs is not on the Raiders this season, because the Raiders would have probably beaten the Kansas City Chiefs twice this season with Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is that big of game changer. What was it, a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago? He was the leading rusher in the NFL for a reason, because he is that good. Josh Jacobs can carry this team like Derrick Henry carried the Ravens, like Saquon Barkley carried the Eagles, if given the proper opportunity. And the added Davante Adams in there, that might be enough. But then you're kind of in the old adage here, like the Rams were a couple years ago, right? Do you sell your soul for one Super Bowl, or do you continue to build, right? You as a Raiders fan, John, you know, do you sell your soul for one Super Bowl, or do you build? Like if I'm a Packers, I want to build. I want to continue to build, because we see teams like the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans and other teams out there that are building within the draft and building great teams and building solid franchises. He says, what college did Davante Adams go to? Wasn't it Fresno State? Fresno State? Pretty sure. Or are you talking about Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs went to Bama. There, you got your glory. That was back when you could not pay the football players. Nick Saban was paying the football players. Just put it out there. But guys, that is the question. Should the Green Bay Packers bring back Davante Adams? I'm saying no. I am saying no. Next up on this Jameis Winston. Now, if you guys have not seen the interviews with Jameis Winston, he is a very, very funny guy, right? He is a very charismatic guy, a very likable guy, and doesn't seem like a guy that would steal some crab legs, right? But Josh Jacobs was out there on opening night for the Super Bowl, which now they're calling it, and was asking some very, very good questions. One of the questions was where he should play in 2025. So I got to thinking, and I got to start to questioning myself and questioning the validity of my football knowledge, I guess, and what I see across the field. But guys, is there a market for Jameis Winston in 2025? Guys, since 2019 being released / traded from the Tampa Bay Bucks, I don't remember if he got traded or cut, but Winston has been that bridge gap quarterback. In 2019, though, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he did throw for 5,109 yards. He did throw for 33 touchdowns. Man, 5,000 yards, 30-plus touchdowns. That man's balling, right? But he also had 30 interceptions. That's what Jameis Winston is known for. Putting up big numbers, putting up big tutties, but also turning the ball over a lot. After that season, he was a backup for the Saints for 4 seasons before going to the Browns. Now, last season for the Cleveland Browns in 2024, he did start 12 games. He threw for 2,121 yards and 13 touchdowns. Not too bad for 12 games, right? But guess what? He averaged an interception a game. He had 12 interceptions. So 13 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. That's Jameis Winston's MO. 1-to-1. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. In his career, including the 5 years that he was a starter with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4 years with the Saints, and then last year with the Browns, he averages 230 yards per game, 15 touchdowns per season to 11 interceptions. A 1-to-1 ratio is not very good. Now, there are a lot of teams out there that need quarterbacks. The Titans need a quarterback. The Raiders need a quarterback. The Colts need a quarterback. The New York Football Giants need a quarterback. Hell, maybe the New York Giants or Jets need a quarterback. Maybe, just maybe, the Cleveland Browns. Maybe, just maybe, I don't know, the San Francisco 49ers. Guys, there's a large market out there right now for a bridge gap quarterback. But, is there really a market for Winston out there as a starter? Now, backup, yes. Backups all day long. He could be he's a great serviceable backup. Get in there for a game or to be the rah-rah guy, give me some water, and go out there and throw a touchdown to save the game. Maybe, sure. But as a starter, guys, I don't think there's a market out there for Jameis. I think that ship has sailed on Jameis. Now, there might be a team out there like the Falcons, like the Kansas City Chiefs, like maybe the Minnesota Vikings, the San Francisco 49ers that could bring him in as a backup. Not competing for a starting job, simply as a backup. But I do not see a market out there for Jameis Winston as a starter at all. No way, no how. I just don't see it. So, guys, let me ask this question to you. Is there a market out there for Jameis Winston in 2025 as a NFL starter? Let's go see. Let's see what they're doing. See what they're doing. Alpha Robbie in the chat today. What's up, Alpha Robbie? Says, built though the draft is better. Built through the draft is better. I think you're being referring to the Packers, right? Alpha Rob says, as a backup, there's a market for Jameis Winston. As a starter, there is not. And honestly, he would be a good serviceable backup, right? He seems to be a good spirited guy. He seems to be a very, very high energy guy. He seems to be a guy that wants to go in there and definitely support whoever is like in there. And I feel like he can definitely do that. And we spoke last night. Of course, Mark spoke on it a little bit. I was just kind of the ringleader, kind of the facilitator, right? But we spoke on people that we think deserves a Super Bowl ring. Of course, it was just strictly on the Chiefs and like Eagles. But is Jameis a guy that deserves a Super Bowl ring? Is Jameis a guy that, has kind of paid his dues and, kind of been the rah-rah guy, kind of gone from this villain to hero to like, you're still around? Do you guys ever think he deserves a Super Bowl ring? I mean, I don't think he deserves one. I don't think anybody deserves one. You can earn one, but Jameis could be a guy that I could see people say, yeah, he deserves a Super Bowl ring. He seems like a very, very likable guy. And John says, you know what? What about the Arizona Cardinals? The Arizona Cardinals have Kyler Murray. He has battled through some injuries the last couple seasons. What about Arizona and Jameis Winston as a backup? And John, the Arizona Cardinals really weren't on my radar because they have a backup. What is his name? Is it Clayton Tune? I think his backup is. Let me Google that real quick. Yeah, so they just picked up a quarterback in 2 years ago's draft, John, from Houston, Clayton Tune. So they have a backup, and Clayton Tune, from what I remember from seeing him play, he's not half bad, right? When Kyler Murray was out last season, Clayton Tune came in there and did a few good things for them. So would you want to disrupt the ability of Clayton Tune to continue to grow? I'm not for sure. So I would count Arizona out. Probably not. John also says he is a hit and miss type of quarterback. He is. He will hit you for a touchdown, and then he'll hit you for an interception. And then he'll hit you for another interception, and then he'll hit you for another touchdown. That's who he is. One for one. One touchdown, one interception. Do you guys remember when BC Combs called Jameis Winston a top 10 quarterback back in 2019? I just for the people that are been OGs here on the Man Hour, back when it was called, what was it called back then? It was me, Combsy, and somebody else, White, I think. What was it called? I don't even remember what that show was called. But Combs was like, Jameis Winston's a top 10 quarterback. Boy, does that age well. Bradley's in the chat today. What's up, Bradley? He says, You can imagine if the Chiefs somehow in some way traded for Tyreek Hill and Myles Garrett via trade, improving both offenses and defense without losing significant talent. So, Bradley, I believe you said this last night as well, right? And we kind of just skimmed over it, right? Because I had Mark on the show and he gets really distracted and yada, yada, yada. So let me dive into your comment here. First things first, let me break it down piece by piece by piece. First of all, Tyreek Hill back to the Kansas City Chiefs would be a bad idea, because Tyreek Hill in the back of his head is a number one receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs roster, he would probably be a number 3, if not a number 4 receiver at best. Rashid Rice will be back. Xavier Worthy is going to probably be the number 2 guy moving forward, potentially number 3. But we still have Hollywood Brown, right? Hollywood Brown did not see the field at all during the regular season. He saw a couple targets this postseason, but he is going to be your true number 2 guy. So you got Rashid Rice as your number 1, Hollywood Brown as your number 2, Xavier Worthy as your number 3. D-Hop has kind of indicated that he would like to come back to the Kansas City Chiefs next season. Juju has kind of indicated that he would like to come back to the Kansas City Chiefs next season. You also still have a receiver by the name of Sky Moore. I still think he has a lot of potential on that roster, right? If Sky Moore could actually come into his own and learn from veterans like Juju and D-Hop and Hollywood Brown, he could have a very successful longevity career. He's not going to be a top 10 receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but a solid number 3. Also, they have Justin Watson. Now, Justin Watson has been inactive probably at least 10 to 12 games so far this season, but he has an opportunity as well to be a starter receiver in the NFL moving forward. The Kansas City Chiefs moved on from Tyreek Hill, not because of the money, not because of the contract situation. It is because he was quickly becoming a diva in Kansas City. That is why the Kansas City Chiefs moved on from them. That is why ultimately I feel that they lost the Super Bowl in 2019 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was because Patrick Mahomes was consistently trying to force the ball down Tyreek Hill's throat, right? They knew he was up for a contract. He was wanting the ball, this and this and this. Once Tyreek Hill was removed from the team, that elevated Patrick Mahomes to the quarterback that we know now. It forced him to actually survey the field. It forced him to actually find the open guy. It forced him to actually start to throw the guys open, right? Kind of be like Tom Brady. Because if you think about this, Wes Welker, when he went to the Denver Broncos, did you ever hear from him ever again? No, because Tom Brady made him better. Tom Brady made the receivers on that team better. And that's what Patrick Mahomes is doing right now. So Tyreek Hill back to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't like it. I don't want it. I want to nix that in the butt right now. Now, on the other side of that talent, Myles Garrett. Obviously, it would be nice to have a player like Myles Garrett on the other side, right? Mike Dana, I believe, is a free agent. What's the other guy's name? Derek N something. He is a free agent as well. But we still have George Kalafis, Chris Jones, and then if you would add a Myles Garrett onto that front four, yes, it would be a very, very dominant, very, very powerful front four. But how long would that last? Because Myles Garrett is getting paid $19.5 million this season. He's going to want to get another contract, another 20, 24, 25. He definitely wants to be the highest paid defensive end in the league. I believe Joey Bosa is the highest paid, making like $29 million a season, right? So he's definitely going to be looking for that type of money. So obviously it would be great to have a talent like that on the Kansas City Chiefs defense. That would make the secondary that much better. That would make Trent McDuffie that much better. That would potentially bring Justin Reed back, because Justin Reed is a free agent this offseason like as well. Make him better. Brandon Cook, Jalen Watson, right? All those guys would explode because the quarterbacks will have no time to pass the ball, right? It on paper, it sounds awesome. It makes sense, but like talking to the Green Bay Packers a while back, like I think it stunts the growth of the Kansas City Chiefs, because in the cold hard facts we are going to be talking about how they are a long-term built team, and I don't want to say it would stunt the growth of the Kansas City Chiefs, because it would definitely elevate their game right then and there, but it would make them hit the ceiling faster, right? If that makes sense. I mean, like, yes, you'd have a great growth. A 4-peat could probably happen at that point. Maybe in a 5-peat. But after that, like, what is there, right? So I see what you're trying to like say. Myles Garrett would be awesome. Tyreek Hill, absolutely not. Get him out of town. Alpha Rob says maybe the Colts, because Richardson isn't ready, meaning Winston to the Colts. I don't think Anthony Richardson is going to be on the starting roster next season, Alpha Rob. I think Anthony Richardson's time in Indy is done. I think his time this season, by not putting in the work ethic and being lazy and tapping himself out on third down versus the Texans, I do believe it was, I think that has rubbed everybody the wrong way, and I don't think that he will be competing for a starting job next season. So Daniel Barry Sports Highlight says, "What's up, everyone? What's up, Daniel Barry? Hope you have a good day, bud. Hope you're having a good day." And Alpha Rob says the best fit for Tyreek Hill are the Chargers, where he can be the number 1 receiver. And Alpha Rob, you are correct. I think in LA, Tyreek Hill would be the number 1 guy. And the LA Chargers actually have a pretty decent receiving core, despite getting rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams last season, right? I do like Lad McConkey. He is going to do well. Joshua Palmer has the potential to be a good number 2, if not number 3 guy. But Quentin Johnson is the true wild card. If Quentin Johnson could just catch the ball, he could be a hell of a receiver. But I wonder if bringing Tyreek Hill in would affect Lad McConkey, because they kind of seem like the same receiver, right? Fast, shifty guys, right? Of course, Lad McConkey can't stay healthy to save his life, but it is what it is. But yeah, Charger would be perfect for him, right? West Philly says the Eagles will blow out the Chiefs 45-21. The Chiefs are overrated this year. So West Philly, I understand you are a Phillies fan, or not a Phillies fan, but an Eagles fan, right? Philly, Eagles, right? I was thinking Phillies, baseball. Baseball is on the mind. Baseball is like, 30 days away or something like that. But I understand you are an Eagles fan. And I understand that you would love to see a blowout, 45-21. The Chiefs are overrated. What do you think is overrated about the Kansas City Chiefs? What do you think is overrated about the Kansas City Chiefs? Because really, if you watch every sports thing out there, if you go on Facebook right now or YouTube right now, there's probably hundreds of people right now talking about the Super Bowl and talking about how great Saquon Barkley is, talking about how great the Philadelphia defense is, talking about how great their special teams are, talking about how great their offensive like line is. Very few people are actually talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. Very few people are really bloating up about the Kansas City Chiefs, about how great their defense is, about how good their offensive line is, about how great Patrick Mahomes is. I guarantee you go to any other stream right now on YouTube. Well, wait till after we're done, but go out there and check it out. And I bet you 90% of those people are boasting up the Eagles. They're boasting them up. The 10% that are not boasting up the Eagles are probably Kansas City Chiefs driven podcast. So I'm not for sure how you see that the Kansas City Chiefs are overrated. I just want to know your point of view. Like, why do you think the Kansas City Chiefs are overrated? Like, that's what it comes down to. Like, I'm not trying to get you off of your opinion. Your opinion is your opinion, right? But I just want you to solidify, like, why are they overrated? Why are the Kansas City Chiefs overrated in your opinion? That is what I want to know. Bradley says, all right. I get it. In a more realistic sense, I think the Chiefs don't change the receiving core. But listen, Bradley, I understand what you were saying about Tyreek Hill. So if you guys are just tuning in, Bradley said, hey, in a crazy realm here, let's think outside the box, and Myles Garrett and Tyreek Hill come back to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they don't really lose a whole lot, right? Would that be awesome? And I basically said no. Now, Bradley, if this was 2017, right? If it like you take the 2025 Kansas City Chiefs, put them back in 2017, I should say. Take Tyreek Hill and put him back in 2017 on this roster, then I can see what you're saying. Then I can say, okay, now we cooking with some baby oil, right? Now we cooking with that virgin P. Diddy oil. If there's a 2017, Tyreek Hill was in 2017, but this 2024 Patrick Mahomes and like everybody else, then I can see that marriage happening, and then I would be on board. That was pre Tyreek Hill getting this big old ego head. That was pre, him being, hey, got it out of Bills, y'all. And that is post Patrick Mahomes growing up into the quarterback that he is. So if we could do that, I'm all for it, baby. I'm all for it. Let's pause time, reverse it back a little bit, bada bing, bada boom. Butterfly effect, right? Or something, I don't know what it's called. Bradley does say, I get what you're saying. So in a more realistic sense, I think the Bills get Tyreek Hill and the Lions get Myles Garrett, while the Chiefs sign Stephon Diggs or Kyle Pitts to replace Travis Kelce. So I don't think Myles Garrett is going anywhere. I just want to emphasis right there. I want to put that caveat of what we're talking about right now. I do not think Myles Garrett is going anywhere for a cheap price. Now, if somebody like the Bills or the Lions or, I don't know, the Kansas City Chiefs or somebody out there says, hey, here are 3 first-round picks, here's a second-round pick, and here's the fifth-round pick, if the Cleveland Browns say no, they are dumb. But let's just say nothing like that happens, right? I don't think he goes anywhere. But realistically, if I am the Detroit Lions and or the Buffalo Bills, I am on that phone right now. First of all, I'm saying, do you want Von Miller? Like if I'm the Buffalo Bills GM, sorry, I'm on the phone saying, hey, I'll give you 2 first-round picks, Von Miller, a second-round pick, and let's throw in a receiver, right? I could see that happening. Myles Garrett to the Buffalo Bills would be amazing. Number 57, I always forget his name. He is a man, the myth, the legend. He's a freaking dog. Is it like Espina? Number 57. He is a freaking dog. He's a dog's dog. Then you add Myles Garrett to the other side. Ooh, slow it down, baby. Alpha Rob's soft cover 2 divas would be working just fine because they'll be getting a hell of a lot of pressure on those bitches then. Now, even with the Detroit Lions, right? The Detroit Lions might be a little bit more harder to get because they still do have Darius Smith that they traded for, right? Aiden Hutchinson will come back. And then they still have McNeil, which is a dog. I did not realize how great McNeil was until he got injured. I was like, man, they could really use that guy. DJ Reader, I think, is still like on a lot, just like on a deal. And then they have is it Muhammad? He's pretty good. He's pretty good too. Now, who do you cut, right? Obviously, you got to make room for him. Would the Detroit Lions be willing to cut? I mean, obviously they would, I feel that, but the Detroit Lions, I feel like, have prided themselves by getting better through the draft, building people up and getting that grit culture, right? The Detroit Lion way. Would they be helping to bring somebody in? Now, for the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. When Travis Kelce says he could see himself, I believe he was asked a question, what do you see yourself in 3 years? I believe it was. He said, I see myself playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Take that with a very much grain of salt, right? Take that with a very much grain of salt. Travis Kelce is getting old. He's losing a little bit. I'm not saying he's on the hill or over the hill or whatever. I'm not saying any of like that. But he is what, 35 years old. That's ancient in football years. He has been playing football since 2013 in the NFL. He didn't play his rookie year. I think he played one game his rookie year, but he's been playing nonstop since then, right? He is definitely on the shorter end of his career. I could see him coming back for one more year because Andy Reid always said he was coming back, and I think Andy Reid and Travis Kelce are kind of like at the hip, right? So you said Kyle Pitts to replace Travis Kelce. That would be amazing for Chiefs fans. I'm not for sure if the Falcons are willing to let Kyle Pitts go because he was their third overall pick, maybe fifth overall pick. That would be tough. That would be tough to see Kyle Pitts go somewhere besides the Falcons. Although we've seen big trades happen, right? Money talks, trade talks, or like whatever. But then Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs to the Chiefs just doesn't move the needle, right? There's a reason why Stephon Diggs only lasted about 3 years per team. The Vikings wanted out. Buffalo Bills wanted out. I think there's a reason why once he got to Houston, they took his 3-year contract and made it into 1 year. Say, hey, here's guaranteed money. Now go test your free agency. Like, I think Stephon Diggs there is a, you know that saying when they're like, if a girl's sexy, they're probably crazy, but sometimes the sexiness outweighs the crazy. Well, those sexy girls always start to not be so sexy once they get a little older. Those sexy, smoking hot girls with big old titties start sometimes sagging down to their knees, right? All of a sudden, those big old titties are like, put a bra back on, honey. You look a hell of a lot better. So, but she's still crazy, right? So Stephon Diggs, I think he's crazy, but his production, okay, we can deal with this. Okay, we can deal with this. Okay, we can deal with this. Now all of a sudden they're like, you're crazy. You think you're sexy, but you're like a 5 at best. Get out of here. I think Stephon Diggs wants to go to one place and one place only, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. I think he wants to play with his brother for a couple years, and I think maybe the craziness might go down a little bit. But Bradley, thanks for your comments, man. John says Myles Garrett to Vegas with Max would be awesome. John, it would be awesome. Seeing the best two defensive ends in the NFL on the same team would be awesome. But here's the caveat with Myles Garrett. He wants to go play with a contender, John. Myles Garrett said in his quote, I'm getting older. I want to play for a contender. I want to compete for a Super Bowl. Now, I understand, John, you are a Raiders fan. Understand I am a Chiefs fan. I'm a Raiders hater. You're a Chiefs hater. Whatever. We love to hate each other. But let's throw all this bias out, right? Let's throw our fandom out. Do you legitimately think, as currently constructed right now on November 5th at 9:45 p.m. East Coast time, that the Raiders can compete for a championship? Be honest with yourself. Right now, as currently constructed, Pete Carroll, your head coach, Patrick Graham, your defensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, your offensive coordinator. A quarterback is probably would be Gardner Minshew. He signed a 2-year deal, I do believe. Brock Bowers is probably your best offensive threat. Max Crosby is still your best defense of threat, but he's 9 years in the league in a boot. Do the Raiders legitimately have a shot to compete for a championship right now? I'm going to answer that for you, John. The answer is no. Myles Garrett wants to play for a contender. Right now, as currently constructed, the Raiders are not contenders. Now, once April hits and they draft Cam Ward or they trade for Dak or whatever, right? Maybe bring in a big receiver in, Odell Beckham Jr. Josh seems to love him some Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe bring him in. And now we're having a different conversation. Now we having a different story. But right now, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Bradley says, if the Chiefs go 15-2 and 3-peat, that might cement this team as the single greatest team of the 21st century. The 07 Patriots didn't finish a job, would be, 21-0, right? Bradley, yesterday I went back the last 3 regular seasons. The last 3 regular seasons, the Kansas City Chiefs have 40 regular season wins. The Eagles have 39 regular season wins. And I don't care about the wins. What it comes down to is the three-peat, right? You could be 8-8, 8-9, 9-8, whatever. You could be 7-10 going into the playoffs this season. But as long as you three-peat, I think that alone cements everything, right? Cements everything. Dolly Adams says, my live feed was some Philly fans going crazy for Hurts and the Eagles. Yes, Dolly. I mean, so I don't want to try to diminish anybody out there, right? We're all out here having fun, talking sports, and we love to support our said teams. But I forget who was it. Let me scroll back up. West Philly said the Chiefs are overrated, and I said, how are they overrated? And he left the chat. Like, he is no longer to be found, right? I don't see any more comments from him at all. And I said simply, and I bet you 90% of the feeds out there right now are hyping up the Phillies. Saquon Barkley, offensive line, defensive this, Jalen Hurts going to throw for 300 yards, whatever. And I get it. Put all that hype on the Eagles. Put all that pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles. Do whatever you can to make this three-peat easier for the Kansas City Chiefs, baby. That's all I got to say about that there. My best Forrest Gump. John says, Philly isn't that good, but what team will show up in the big game? John, Philly is that good. Whether you want to admit it or not, I was late to the Eagles on the party this season. I'm going to admit that. After those first 4 games of the season, I was I was like, Philly, right? I was on board saying, fire Nick Sirianni. I said, get his ass out of here, right? I was buying into that hype. Like, you know what? It kind of makes sense. Epic collapse last year, and then now this year, like, what? Get him out of here. But week 6 came along. Yeah, they won. Week 7, yeah, they won. Week 8, I was like, oh, okay, what? Week 9, like, whoa, okay. Week 10, Week 11, I started putting in the power rankings. I'm like, yeah, they're number 10, but week 12 they moved with like number 7. Like, right? Who had they played? Who had they beat? And then all of a sudden they're a 14-win team. Like, what? The Eagles are a good team, John. The Eagles have the best defense in the NFL. The Eagles have the best offensive line in the NFL. The Eagles have the best running back in the NFL. They arguably have a top 5 receiver on their team in the NFL, meaning A.J. Brown. They have a very underhyped wide receiver and Devontae Smith. Guys, the Eagles are really, really good. Like, they are that good. I just want to put that out there. Josh says this Super Bowl will not be anywhere close to being a blowout, and I agree. Josh, I would go far to agree that I would say we have a better probability of being a defensive slugfest, 6-9, 10-6 type of score than a 45-25. I think West Philly said. Let me scroll back up. Let me see what it said. 45-21. I don't see it being a complete blowout unless barring some type of crazy injury, right? Whether Justin Reed happens to go down or Trent McDuffie goes down or Bolton, like barring some crazy injury, right? Both teams come out healthy. It's definitely not going to be a blowout. Alpha Rob says the Bills aren't getting Hill. They are done with crying receivers. Are they though? Are they? Bradley says, I believe after the Chiefs dynasty ends in like 2029, CJ Stroud and the Texans would be the dynasty of the 2030s. When you say 2030 and you put that on the screen, that seems so far away. That's 5 years away. Damn. My man James Fraser in the chat today. What's up, James? Says low birds from a sad, sad Browns fan. Sorry, James, but that's funny. Dolly says unless Philly gets Nick Foles back at quarterback, they are doomed. Listen, Dolly, Jalen Hurts is not that bad. So I was I feel like I was like a lot of people before the season started, and I said that Jalen Hurts was paid too early. He was overhyped. He was definitely wasn't a top 10 quarterback. So I you know what? For my pigskin pundits this summer, we are going to go back and we're going to break down Jalen Hurts film. He's actually a really, really good quarterback. His stats get better each and every year, besides this year, obviously. His footwork gets better. His arm strength gets better. Jalen Hurts goes out there and wins football games. Matter of fact, 39 of them in the last 3 years in the regular season. He has now been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 seasons. Jalen Hurts is not that bad. Not that bad. James says, LOL, I told my boy that's an Eagle fan, and I trade him Stefanski for Nick Sirianni. Get out of here. Get out of here. Josh Olsen says the Raiders could start O'Connell and sign Odell Beckham Jr. and Garrett next season. They could, Josh. The Raiders could start Aiden O'Connell for the 3rd different time in his 3 years. They could sign Odell Beckham Jr. They could trade for Myles Garrett. In Fantasyland, yes, they could. The Raiders are not a contender right now. That's where Myles Garrett wants to go. Myles Garrett wants to be on a contender. And now I know what you're going to say. Well, if he gets traded, he has to report. No, he doesn't. Just because you get traded, you can be like, oh, I'm done. I am retired. I don't want to play. Or you just don't report. And then you put then you get put on the PUP list for like a year, and then the Raiders get a 4th round conventional pick or whatever the hell it is called, and then Myles Garrett goes back to the Browns anyways, and he has to do this. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Bradley says, if Mahomes had the same passing stats as Joe Burrow, he would have been unanimously won his 3rd MVP. Also, Travis Kelce gets Jamar Chase's triple count stats. Bradley, Patrick Mahomes will never win another MVP. Patrick Mahomes can throw for 6,000 yards, 40 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and he would still not get the MVP. The reason that he would not get the MVP is very, very simple. It is very, very simple. One, we have grown to expect that, right? We expect him to throw for 5,000 yards. We expect him to throw for 30-plus touchdowns. We expect him to lead his team to the playoffs. We expect him to win the AFC West, right? There's a reason why he is not a back-to-back MVP, because he clearly is the MVP of the Kansas City Chiefs. He clearly is the MVP of the league. He is the most valuable player on said team. The reason why he does not get the reward is because I think, for one, we expect it. 2, voter fatigue. And 3, if he were to actually win back-to-back MVPs, along with back-to-back Super Bowls and Offensive Player of the Year, yada, 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 think about how much rig we would be hearing. Legitimately, think about how much hate the Kansas City Chiefs already get. Think about how much more they would get. How many more death threats they would get, and rigged and scripted and all this other stuff. I mean, when Lamar Jackson won his first MVP award, Patrick Mahomes had better stats than him, and he missed 2 games. He dislocated his kneecap versus the Denver Broncos. He still had better stats than Lamar Jackson that particular year. He led the team to the Super Bowl that year. But yet, Lamar Jackson. There's also probably a reason why Lamar Jackson will not probably get the 3-peat MVP. It's because of voter fatigue. People love to hate on winners. People love to hate on success. It is easy to hate up. I've said this time and time again. It is easy to hate up. It is easy to scream from your little soapbox from way down here, and you're yelling up here, you suck, you suck, you suck, you like suck. I'm not saying Josh Allen does not deserve the MVP. He was definitely a very, very good player this season. Let's not get it twisted. But Lamar Jackson will not win his third MVP because of voter fatigue. Patrick Mahomes will never win another MVP because of all his Super Bowl rings. It just it is what it is. It is what it is. James says Miles end up in Detroit, Washington, or Philly. If anything, I would say Washington would probably be the best bet. But yeah, we spoke on that pretty extensively. And James, you being a Browns fan, I feel sorry for you. Brad says, I feel the NFL equivalent of Luka AD trade would be like 21 Patrick Mahomes getting traded to Matthew Stafford after the Rams won the Super Bowl. Not wrong. Not wrong. And Josh says, Garrett to the Detroit Lions would be a scary, scary, dangerous team. They would be a scary, dangerous regular season team, but they would still be a first-round exit. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest, baby. But guys, it's hour number 2. It's hour number 2. It's time to get into some cold, hard facts. So, guys, every Wednesday, I've been screaming the old interweb, seeing what the people are talking about, and I want to tell you some cold, hard facts. Some cold, hard, simple facts. Cold, hard fact number 1, guys, is the Tennessee Titans, guys. They are the number 1 overall pick in this year's 2025 NFL draft, but the cold, hard fact is that they will not be drafting a quarterback in the first round. It is simple. Sorry, Tennessee Titans fans, you will not be getting Shedeur Sanders. You will not be getting Cam Ward. You will not be getting Dart. You will not be drafting a quarterback in the first round of this year's draft. The Titans have so many needs on their roster. Offensive line, linebacker, edge rusher. Quarterback is like number 4 or number 5. We talked about Jameis Winston earlier. He could go there and be a bridge gap quarterback. But cold hard facts number 1, guys, is the Tennessee Titans will not be drafting a quarterback in the first round this year. Cold hard facts number 2. Roger Goodell come out and said that we're very, very close to an 18-game NFL season. Lloyd Howe Jr. has pushed back against those comments against the NFL commissioner, said the 18-game season is not going to happen. Nobody wants the 18-game NFL season. Well, Mr. Lloyd Howe Jr., the cold hard fact is that everybody wants the 18 NFL game season. Everybody wants an even number of games. The players will want it, the owners will want it, and the commissioner will want it as well. The reasoning behind this is because once you add that one game, we're going to get a lot more dollar bills, y'all. All of a sudden, you see a $100 million contract here, $100 million contract there, kind of rare. Now we're going to start seeing the $200 million contract. Now we're going to start seeing the $260 million contracts for the receivers and defensive ends and offensive linemen. Lloyd Howe Jr., everybody wants an even number of games. Everybody wants 16 or 18. 17 games is just stupid. Let's just be honest. The cold hard fact says 18 games is coming, baby. It's coming. Excuse me. And then cold hard facts number 3. The MVP award, guys. There have been betting lines now for the Super Bowl MVP and Landon Dickerson for the Philadelphia Eagles, meaning an offensive line could potentially win the MVP award. Guys, the cold hard facts are that no offensive line is going to win the NFL Super Bowl MVP award. Let me say that for you one more time for the people in the back. The cold hard fact is no offensive line is going to win the MVP award. Saquon Barkley can rush for 455 yards. Landon Dickerson can have 16 pancake blocks and lead them all block on every single play. Still not going to get the MVP award. There's a better chance for a defensive player to win the MVP than an offensive line, and there's only been 10 defensive players ever to do it. Hell, in the last 10 years alone, 7 quarterbacks, 1 linebacker, and 2 wide receivers. Guys, cold hard facts are there's no going to be offensive linemen winning the MVP. Stop it. And the 4th cold hard fact of the day, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs. 3-peat or not, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs are built to last. Let me repeat that for one more time for the people in it, like in the back. Kill that music. 3-peat or not, the Kansas City Chiefs are built to last. Guys, those are the cold hard facts. The Kansas City Chiefs are built to win for many, many years to come. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, guys, they have their trade philosophy back down packed. The Kansas City Chiefs have considered acquiring many veteran players during this offseason or during the trade deadline. Marshawn Lattimore was one of them. But they're like, nope. Too many draft picks, too high of cost. High risk, very, very little reward. They are sticking to their long-term strategy of balancing out aggressiveness without jeopardizing the future success. Their trade philosophy has been spot on. The 3-peat motivation is the reason why they'll be built to last as well, right? The Chiefs' goal of receiving a 3-peat is important, and it remains tangible, but that's not the whole goal of the Kansas City Chiefs. The goal for them this offseason was to be focused on the end goal, to focus to get there, right? And Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, those veterans really hammered home these young guys, rookies, second-year players, to know how to get there, right? It's motivation. It is this, it is this, it is this, right? And then Patrick Mahomes' contract. Guys, just a couple years ago, we were thinking how crazy of a contract that was. 10 years, $500 million, $500 million for Patrick Mahomes. But you guys, it's a team-friendly contract. It keeps Patrick Mahomes on the Kansas City Chiefs through 2031. It even allows a team to allocate resources effectively to maintain that competitive roster while avoiding overspending on season goals, meaning that they can restructure that contract anytime they need to bring in extra guys. And Patrick Mahomes is all about it. It's all back end loaded. And then this season alone, they've had injuries after injury after injury. Rashid Rice, Hollywood Brown, Ajay Pacheco, Jalen Watson. They forced him to make roster adjustments and bringing up these young guys faster than what they were expecting. Guys, the Kansas City Chiefs are built to last, and it is evident. It is evident they are built to last. So whether they win on Sunday or not, expect them to be there for many, many years to come. Expect them to be there like the Patriots from 2001 to 2018. Look for a 20-year run. I'm not saying it is going to happen, but damn it, it's already been almost 10 years. Guys, those are the cold hard facts. Oh, where's my thing? There it is. Alrighty, guys. So those are my cold hard facts 1 through 4 today. What do you guys think? Do you agree with those cold hard facts? Do you disagree? What are your things? What do you think? Bradley says, we were robbed of the Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl. Can you imagine 2 15-win teams battling out on the biggest stage? It would have been awesome. It would have been awesome. And I would have not heard the end of it, Bradley. Bradley, I think you've been here for a couple weeks now, right? On the live streams, but thank you for joining us, man. But I have been deemed this Detroit Lion hater. I have been deemed this Detroit Lion. It's hater. It's any bad word about the Detroit Lions. I am that guy, right? I've been spot on about the Detroit Lions all season long, and their fans don't like it. But don't shoot the messenger, right? Don't shoot the messenger. James Frank says, if they steal Abdul Carter, I want to be pissed. Listen, James, that defensive end from Penn State is going #1 overall. The Titans are going to draft him. And if they don't, and they draft a Shanir Canders, Cam Ward, or Travis Hunter, they are messing up. Let's just be honest. They are messing up. Alpha Rob says, are the Titans done with Will Levis? I've been hearing mixed things, right? I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about Will Levis. And honestly, me being a Kentucky fan, I was kind of high on Will Levis, right? I was high on him because I saw what he did at Kentucky as a college quarterback. I saw what he did. He elevated his teammates. And obviously his rookie year, it was pissing in the wind, right? It's just there's a 40-mile-an-hour breeze, Brony, and you're trying to pee, and you're like, what? It just is just ridiculous, right? Now, this last season, he had spurts where he was like, oh, okay, there is my guy. There's Will Levis. Now we cooking, right? Now we cooking. But then he would make some of the bone-ass, stupid pick sixes and passes like, what are you doing? The first one comes to mind versus the Chicago Bears. All he had to do was just to go down, and they probably win that game. He tried to do the Superman pass throw, I believe it was a defensive end, pick six it for like 80 yards. I'm like, what? And then he did the same thing versus the Green Bay Packers. Granted, the Packers game was a way blowout, but like what are you doing? So I don't think the Titans are fully done with Will Levis. I think they're going to bring him in for this offseason, into preseason, and there's going to be an open competition. Now, I do not think that the Titans do draft a quarterback this season. I want to be clear about that. In the first 2-3 rounds, they're not going to draft a quarterback. However, I could see it in the 4th, 5th, 6th rounds in those value picks. Because when you look at the situation and the Tennessee Titans, Mason Rudolph is a free agent after this season. He's a free agent right now. Will Levis is the only quarterback on that roster. What do? Do you bring in a Teddy Bridgewater? Do you call the Detroit Lions and say, hey, what do you want for Hendon Hooker? Do you bring in a Derek Carr? I know Derek Carr wants out of Saints land. Like, what do you do? But I do think Will Levis does get another chance in Tennessee, and this is his make or break year. This would be his 3rd year, right? This is his make or break year, 100%. James says, hell yeah, we want 18 games. Listen, us as fans want 18 games, right? As players, I can see 18 games is a lot. However, James, with the 18-game season, you will more than likely get another bye week. So you get 2 bye weeks, less preseason. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. I don't know. Josh says, Donald to the Titans, and they need a couple receivers. Aaron Donald is not coming back, Josh. Stop it. He retired. James says, Landon Dickerson is a dog, though. He is a dog. Listen, that whole Eagles offensive line is a dog, James. Let's just be honest. Everybody on that line is a dog. And their dogs are dogs. Hell, those cats are dogs. I bet you that cat can probably bench 240 easily. Josh says, I would like a 10-game regular season and the best of 3 games in the series in the postseason and Super Bowl. And Josh, I would like you to wake up and go kick the side of your couch on the way to the corner and count to 100 because you are in timeout. We are not doing a 3-game series in the postseason. We're not doing a best out of 5 series in the Super Bowl. Not going to happen. RPG Productions says, here we go again. Talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Here we go again. And John says, 20-game season. Hell yes, please. Nah, 20 games is too much. Honestly, I think 16 was the magic number. I think 16 was about perfect, but they're not going to go down from 17. The only way is to go up. So RPG Production says, everyone hated the Patriots because they couldn't beat them, but now everybody hates the Chiefs because they're not allowed to beat them. Help from the rest. There is no denying it. There's evidence everywhere. RPG Productions, you are obviously some type of productions. I don't know what type of productions you do, but I am going to give you my access to my all 22 camera angles. It has 22 camera angles in the NFL game, and I'm going to give you all 17 games for the Kansas City Chiefs this season. Show me where the Chiefs will not allow the Kansas City Chiefs to lose. I'll wait. Bradley says, will we see Josh Allen ever win a playoff game against Mahomes? Probably not. The only way the Buffalo Bills will ever get past the Kansas City Chiefs or go further than the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs is if the Baltimore Ravens have to play the Kansas City Chiefs before the Buffalo Bills do. That's just the way it is. I think it's the perfect rock, paper, scissors trifecta there, right? I think the Ravens can beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs right now. The Bills can beat the Ravens, and the Chiefs can beat the Bills. So nice little triangle there right now. Do you think that the Pats potentially get Travis Hunter, the top 4 pick, Titans, Browns, and then Giants, and then Patriots? Titans need a quarterback. Browns need a quarterback. Giants need a quarterback. First things first, Travis Hunter will not go past number 2. Titans will not be drafting a quarterback. The Giants will not be drafting a quarterback, more than likely. If they do, it will be Cam Ward, right? And the Browns will not be drafting a quarterback, at least in the first round. Sam Darnold to the Titans, not Aaron Donald. Okay, my bad on that. My bad on that. You can come at a timeout now, Josh. I think the Patriots will be able to trade Joe Milton to the Titans for Snead. Why do the Patriots want to add Snead? The Patriots have a pretty good defense. I don't know. Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. All right, guys, it's time for a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. We're in hour number 2 here at Man Hour NFL Talk, guys. We're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. How we end the show is a simple fact, a little bit of fact, and a little bit of crap. We go around the interwebs, we see what the people are tweeting about, see what the people are saying, and we're going to determine if it indeed is a fact or if it is crap. Guys, it's a live interactive show, so comment down below and we'll read each and every one of the comments. But guys, the first up on the Fact or Crap Day here on this Wednesday, and we're going to talk a little bit about Jamar Chase. Guys, Jamar Chase won the Triple Crown this season for the first time since 2021 when a Cooper Kupp did it. A Triple Crown is touchdowns, catches, and yards in a season. First place in all of those. Jamar Chase is due for a big payday next season. He has come out and said that he wants to get paid what he is worth. If you guys remember earlier this season, the Bengals said, hey, what do you want? He said, I want 1 penny more than JJ. He said, no. And they're like, okay, we are done here. So guys, fact or crap, is Jamar Chase the best receiver in the NFL? Is Jamar Chase the best receiver in the NFL? Guys, Jamar Chase had 1,700 yards receiving this season. Justin Jefferson, which is maybe the best receiver in the NFL, finished the second with 1,500 yards. JJ is the highest paid receiver in the NFL, making $110 million over the next 4 years. CeeDee Lamb is the second highest paid receiver, making over $100 million and over the next 4 years. Guys, when you look at Jamar Chase, he is the reason why Joe Burrow is having success in Cincinnati. When you look at Jamar Chase, he is the reason why Joe Burrow had success at LSU. Guys, Joe Burrow is the man, the myth, the legend. I kind of expected him to actually take a couple steps back this season by losing Boyd to the Titans, because I thought Boyd was the X factor, really kept the safeties kind of occupied. But Jamar Chase said, you know what? Hold my beer and watch this. 1,700 yards this season. That's not too shabby for a pretty bad team, right? So guys, fact or crap, is Jamar Chase the best receiver in the NFL? This is 100% facts. This is 100% facts. Because I think if you put Jamar Chase on any team, he's putting up these type of numbers. If you put him on the New York Giants, he's putting up these type of numbers. If you put him on the Miami Dolphins, he's putting up these type of numbers. If you put him on the Baltimore Ravens, he's putting up these type of numbers. Now, I see people can probably say, well, no, JJ's better, Jetta's better, yada, yada, yada. I think Justin Jefferson is a product of Kevin O'Connell's system. I'm not saying JJ is not a terrible receiver. I'm just saying he's a little overhyped. I'm saying if you put him on the Baltimore Ravens, he's not putting up those 1,500 yards receiving this season. If you put him on the Giants, he's not putting up those 1,500 yards. You put him on the Kansas City Chiefs, probably not putting up those type of numbers. The Minnesota Vikings have a great system up there. Kevin O'Connell is a great system coach guy, right? I think Jamar Chase takes his talent everywhere that he goes. Guys, I think it's a fact. I think Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL. Better than CeeDee Lamb, better than Tyreek Hill, better than St. Brown, A.J. Brown, J.J. Addison. The list goes on and on and on. Jamar Chase is the man, the myth, the legend. He's going to earn that big bill contract to y'all. So guys, fact or crap, is Jamar Chase the best receiver in the NFL? And Alpha Rob starts it off real quick. Facts, baby. Just Jamar Chase can come over to my team anytime he wants, says Alpha Rob. Oh, you want Coleman? You want Shakir? You want Espen? You want Von Miller? You want James Cook? It doesn't matter. Send me over Jamar Chase and we're going to go to the Super Bowl, baby. Listen, Jamar Chase is the real deal. And Alpha Rob, I agree with you. But James Frank says, whoa, slow it down, baby. He says, let me bring some validity into this conversation. James says it is crap. Jetta is way better. Now he's saying Jamar Chase is number 2, but Jetta is way better, meaning Justin Jefferson. And James, let me ask you this. Do you think that Justin Jefferson, Jetta, JJ, Jet, whatever you want to call him, whatever persona he's going by this week, do you think he is a product of the system? No, let me rephrase that. If you were to put Jamar Chase on the Minnesota Vikings and then Jetta on the Cincinnati Bengals, who would have a better season? I have to go with Jamar Chase. I think he would probably break the 2,000-yard mark in Minnesota because of that great system. I think a lot of Justin Jefferson's yardage is because of the system. I'm not saying he is bad. Don't get that twisted. He's still a top 5 receiver. I'm just saying Jamar Chase is better. And John says, facts. John says, it's not because he's great. It's not because he has carried Joe Burrow. It's actually because Joe Burrow has carried him, because Joe Burrow deserves that MVP from last season. And it's a fact that Jamar Chase is the number 1 receiver in the NFL because of Joe freaking Burrow, says John. John, slow it down, baby. Damn, put those gats away. As I do agree with you, he's the best receiver in the NFL, but because of Joe Burrow, we're going to have to get into this at some point this week. I mean, we got a long off season. We can debate how overrated Joe Burrow actually is, but damn, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. RPG Production says, what if the Pats get Jamar Chase? Pats have the most cap space in the NFL. Most likely won't happen, but it would be crazy. Listen, RPG Production, money talks. Money talks, baby. When Tyreek Hill went to the Miami Dolphins, he didn't care if they were a Super Bowl contending team. He didn't care if they were going to win the AFC East. He didn't even know where Miami was. Let's just be honest. But he saw that pay and he's like, okay, put me on a plane. 10 kids later, bada bing, bada boom. He's like, oh, shit. I pissed away 4 years. Jamar Chase. He hasn't come out and said it's all about championships yet. He hasn't come out and said, like, hey, I want to be on a winner. I want to do this, this, and this. I feel that Jamar Chase just wants to get those da-da-da bills, yo. And if the New England Patriots are offering a 5-year, $160 million deal, why the hell not, baby? He's only 25 years old, 5 years in the league. That puts him up to 30, and then he can come over to the Kansas City Chiefs and win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying. But now you're just getting crazy. RPG Productions, Drake May and Jamar Chase duo cold. Slow it down, baby. RPG, I don't think Drake May is going to even be on the roster by the end of next season. So slow that down. Slow that down. Josh says he is easily a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Well, he's easily top 10, Josh. Don't be waffling around here now, brother. Give us a direct answer. Is he the best receiver in the NFL? It's a fact or it's a crap? It's a fact, baby. It's a fact. James says, I think Jetta would have a better season if that was the case. They both are close, though. So James is saying Justin Jefferson is the best because if he would put him in Cincinnati, he would have broke that 2,000-yard mark. Jamar Chase can't even sniff his jockstrap. Isn't that what John says? Bradley says, hey. Kevin O'Sonnell's system is great, but it isn't benefiting Jet. It's benefiting Sam Darnold with the top 5 quarterback. In Joe Burrow, he might get 2,000 yards. So, Bradley, I kind of feel like you're playing both sides of the fence there, right? So, if a Kevin O'Connell system is benefiting the quarterback as far as yardage, touchdowns, interception ratio, etc., Who is on the receiving end of those yards that the quarterback is getting? It's the receivers, isn't it? It's Jetta. Of course, Addison did his thing and Hawkinson did like his thing. And there's another receiver, I forgot his name, but he kind of did like his thing too. But when a quarterback's putting up nearly 5,000, 4,000 yards, somebody's got to be catching those passes. Somebody's got to be on the receiving end of all those touchdown passes. Just saying. John says most passing yards, hands down. Who? RPG Production says, bro, there's no way. Just said that about my king, Drake May. Listen, Drake May is not that good. Drake May is not all the cupcakes and roses that he is going to be. Now, RPG Productions, let me be perfectly clear. I think Drake May could have a potentially nice, average, mediocre NFL career. Carson Wentz type of season, right? Or career, you know. But the reason that I say that Drake May will be out potentially by the end of this season, if not earlier, is because they have a new regime in town. They have a new reigning king. All hail King Mike Vrabel. All hail King Josh McDaniels. We've seen it in Chicago. We've seen it in other places. When new coaches come into new systems with a second-year quarterback, 9 times out of 10, that quarterback gets kicked to the curb. Look in Chicago. They bring in a new coach. A year later, quarterback's out. Bring in a new coach. A year later, the quarterback's out. Hell, even in Denver, Russell Wilson, not even a rookie quarterback. Bring in a new coach. Veteran quarterback's out. Head coaches want their guy. Head coaches want a quarterback to fit their system. Now, if Drake May fits Mike Vrabel's system, perfect, match made in heaven. But I don't think that's the case. I think Drake May wants to throw the ball all over the field, and that's not what Mike Vrabel and Josh Daniels are going to do. I think Drake May is out. Drake May had decent stats as a rookie. Stop looking at stats, brother. Stop looking at stats and watch the film. But he did say he had no players to support him. O-line, receiver, and only playing 11 games and a whole new coaching staff. Come on, you can't be serious. I am serious. RPG Productions, I am dead serious. People said the same thing about Justin Fields. Oh, they don't have any offensive line support, no receivers, none this, whatever, yada, yada, yada. He was out a year later. Russell Wilson, out after Sean Payton, come in. It happens, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, baby. It's going to happen, baby. Josh says, how did Bailey Zappi fell off? He used to be good with the Pats. I don't think Bailey Zappi was ever bad, but he was never great either, right? It's just when you get new coaches in and you have a quarterback that you don't really jive with, get out of town, right? Get out of town. Now, I think Bailey Zappi now is I saw him on a squad somewhere. Was it Cleveland? I think it was Cleveland, just like he was on there, right? Bradley says, Joe Burrow nearly had 5,000 yards. Jamar Chase had to get a chunk of those yards. Jetta would have had the same production, and Chase, the QB, had more proven talent than Sam Darnold. Correct. RPG says, bro, how is that a bad thing? Josh McDaniels turned a backup in mid-quarterback Tom Brady to a 6-time Super Bowl champion. You know that, right? I'm pretty sure Josh McDaniels was not the quarterback coach or the offensive coordinator when Tom Brady was drafted. I just want to put that out there. So, actually, I think Tom Brady is older than Josh McDaniels, if I'm not mistaken. So, he may have been a coach on the way to success, but Tom Brady made his own thing, right? James Frank says, y'all Pats fans put out a crown on Drake May. Listen, James. Patriots fans have had, 6 years of no Super Bowls. They're having withdrawals, man. They're like, they're like, give me something to crown. Give me something to crown. Texans quarterback to New England. CJ Stroud to New England. Texas quarterback. So Arch Manning, right? Arch Manning, or you're talking about Cam Ewers. That would be interesting. RPG says, I'll be honest, though. I have no idea how Drake May made the Pro Bowl. I can tell you exactly how he made the Pro Bowl, because the Pro Bowl is a complete shit show. Pro Bowl is a complete shit show. Lamar Jackson said no. Josh Allen said no. Patrick Mahomes wasn't even voted to the Pro Bowl. Tell me something about that, right? The Pro Bowl is a shit show. That's all I got to say. We're not going to get in the Pro Bowl. Brad says, I think prime Jeremiah Smith in 2030 might be the first receiver to have 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. I don't know who Jeremiah Smith is. So might have to check out who Jeremiah Smith is. Yeah. Tom Brady started in 2001. Okay. You understand that the Patriots had a pretty good team in 2001, right? Or 1999, actually. But hey, whatever. It's your story. I'm just living in it. But guys, that's going to be it for today. It's been a live, raw, uncut NFL talk, guys. Every Monday through Friday. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. East Coast time. It's just me. But guys, if you be most inclined, like the stream, share the stream with a couple of friends as well, and also consider subscribing to the channel as well, because we are live each and every day, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, and we do upload clips every 3 hours on the 3 hours. And James, no, I do not know who Jeremiah Smith is. So Bradley says he's also the Ohio State freshman that just won the national title, if you know who Jeremiah Smith is. I'll have to look up Jeremiah Smith, because honestly, I have kids that I coached that played for Ohio State. Now they're over in their IU. They transferred out. One went to IU, one went to Kent State, one went to Kansas State, another one went to Michigan State, and then Eastern Illinois. I was usually watching the defense or the offensive line. I really wasn't watching the receivers, honestly. I was just hoping they were doing well. But I'll go back and watch it. I'll go back there and watch some film. But until then, guys, we are out. See you tomorrow.